Section settings in GOtrack eSpray computer. Go to menu, press sections, and here is the list of section settings. First setting is number of sections. We can choose from 1 up to 3. This sprayer is a tower sprayer with 3 sections per side, and this number represents number of sections per one side. We press save and we have another setting, type of valves. First setting is about section control valves. So there is a choice between solenoid valves or motor valves. This sprayer is equipped in ARAC motor valves, so it is selected motor. Also you can choose main valve. Some sprayers, they are not equipped in the valves, so you have to press none. But if the main valve is present, then you have also choice between solenoid and motor. What is the difference between a solenoid and motor? When motor valves are selected here in this menu, then the controlling of the valve is done by polarity reverse. If there is a solenoid valve selected, then the control of the valve is only on-off. If main valve is not present, then you have the time for idle pressure. You have to select this time. This time is the time of controlling the pressure after switching off the section. So for example, when you are spraying 2 rows or 1 row, doesn't matter, and then you switch off sections with moving joystick down, then for 5 seconds still there will be a regulation of regulation valve, so the computer will control the pressure, will try to achieve mixing pressure, which is set up in pressure settings. So we go back, turn off sections when standstill. If this is enabled, then with this setting, after 3 seconds, all sections after 3 seconds from the stop, when the speed is 0 kilometers per hour, then after 3 seconds all sections will switch off automatically. Next menu is method of enable third section, because we have only 2 buttons per side. So if the sprayer is equipped in the third one, you can select what method you want to enable third section. So in this computer all methods are enabled. So one method is double click of section number 2. Another method is clicking both buttons at the same time. And the third method is a long holding button for section number 2. Valves polarity. For your convenience, here there is a menu to change polarity of valves. So after connecting spraying controller to the valves, sometimes it may happen that the polarity is wrong, so you can easily change polarity from direct to indirect right here, also for main valve and also for regulation valve and right section valves. Of course, if you have selected solenoid valves, it doesn't matter what polarity you have. It is only about the motor valves. Go back. Control valve. Here you have a selection of control valve, of regulating valves. Most common are 14 seconds motor valve ARAC 863 14 seconds, or ARAC 7 seconds. The difference with settings are actually here the proportional gain, and also here proportional gain in 7 seconds is lower, in 14 seconds is higher, because this valve, 14-second valve, is slower, so it needs a higher gain for better regulation. If the valve is fast, this one is 7-second valve, it's very fast, it's designed especially for the computers, so proportional gain for in this case must be lower. So it doesn't matter if you have another manufacturer valve, you can choose between those two settings. If you can see that the computer is oversteering the pressure, then you can play with proportional gain. So for example, when it is when the regulation is when the computer is over-regulating, you have to lower the proportional gain. If it is too slow, then you have to increase proportional gain. This menu, regulation valve diagnosis, is very important for checking if the regulation valve works fine. So here you can turn on and off main valve. So then when the PTO is on, you can see the pressure here, and here you have a slider for controlling regulation valve. So when you move this slider to the positive values, you have to hear the noise the regulation valve is making. So if you move it to higher values, then you could hear that this regulation valve works faster. This is the fastest, 100 is the highest speed. And if you go to negative values, then the regulation valve is closing and pressure should go down. And also you have to hear the noise of the valve. Of course, if the valve reach the maximum or minimum, it will be switched off by the limit switch, which is built in the valve, so you won't hear noise. So for example, when it reached the minimum right here, then you have to move above 0 to positive values to hear the valve again. And now if the valve, for example, with 50% of speed will reach the maximum, it will switch off by the limit switch built in the valve. And also to hear the valve working, you have to go below 0, so the valve will be closing. You can also select relight output for LED lighting or electrostatics here. Here are some settings for airflow control, but this is explained in another movie. And here is the menu for a section control signal. It is for making a short beep after turning section on or off. It is useful especially in auto GPS module. So if you are using a GPS assist mode, then if this setting is on, then when sections are on, switching on and off automatically, you can hear the beep. So it is confirmation that sections are on or off. And that's all for settings for sections.